Welcome back to the Zero Generation podcast. I'm so excited to be here and for who I'm going to be talking to today. But before we get to that, this is the podcast for the dreamers who left home and are making a new home abroad. And that's a really broad umbrella because all of us left home at some point. Hopefully, if you're an adult, you've left home, the home where you were born, and you're making a new home for yourself and making your way in the world. I am focusing this season on people who are driving culture and innovation across different industries: travel, tech, law, writing, creatives. It's packed full, and I'm just excited to be back. This episode, I am going to be talking to Bayo Adedeji. He's known as Bayo Lion, and for good reason. Bayo and I go way, way, way back. First of all, I think I first of all knew Bayo like when he was doing mega shoe sale. And this was when I first came out of college, so several years ago now. But then I met Bayo in person when he started working at the company that I was working at when I joined corporate America. And Bayo made such an impression on me. I'm going to be talking to him about certain things that he did and certain choices that he's made in his career and how he pivoted when it seemed like he was on the fast track in the US, in corporate America, pivoted and went back home. I want to get into his head, and talking with Bayo is always exciting. He always comes with insights, a lot of energy, and so I'm super excited to be talking to him today. Check out our interview. Welcome, Bayo. Welcome, Bayo Lion, as you're popularly known. So just a little bit about you, and I would love to hear about you in your own words, but Bayo is the group CEO of Waka Now. And personally for me, he's someone that embodies boldness, joy, reinvention, and doing the impossible. You know, I met you long time ago, but then I re-met you a little bit of a while ago while you were working in corporate America. And I was lucky to be there the day you had a pivotal conversation that, marked, that marked your journey. So I want to talk a little bit about that because for me, you're someone who I saw taking up space while you were here in the US, and you're, in Nigeria, and you're still, in fact, you're now taking up much more space, but like how we say, no be today, like you don't take. So I would love to kind of talk first about your corporate career, right? So a lot of people who listen to this podcast are like me, like us, they've moved, they've relocated, they're making their way in their careers abroad, and they're trying to make a mark. And for me, I remember that when, I first joined Amazon, you were one of probably only two Nigerian senior managers in the entire company, which was huge. But beyond that, you were very intentional about rallying, those of us who you saw around the company. What was your frame of mind as you climbed the corporate ladder in America, not just, in Amazon?
Girl, you just asked me a million questions in your first.
I know. I know. Okay, let's reverse. Let's reverse it.
I get it.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm excited to be here with you, Dami. You've asked me to do this quite a bit, and I'm glad that finally I get to do it. Corporate America for me was about exceptionality. It was about, I don't know if I ever told you this story before. I'm sure I have in one of our long chats. My first job in corporate America, I was almost fired. I was almost fired not because I couldn't do the job, but I had a communication problem. I was afraid that people did not understand my accent, so I spoke less. When people say something, I'll go do it. I'll just go do it. Even when I don't kind of agree around things that people did, I was too caught up in the emotion that everybody, because every time I spoke, and again, I'm a little bit older, right? So my first job in America was probably 2008. So in 2008, people just always say, huh? Say that again.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Yeah.
And it gave me a little bit of an inferiority complex that at the time I did not realize that that was what was going on.
Yeah.
And they put me on PEEP. They wanted to fire me.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I was about to be fired. And the guy that hired me into Texas Instrument at the time took me to lunch and then told me the what I call another pivotal moment. He told me that I am the smartest, dumbest person he has ever met. That
He
I am
said that.
smart.
He used those words.
Yes, the exact words. And he told me that after I ate my steak. Almost I was almost done with my steak. So the steak could not go, I started
He couldn't
swallowing hard
digest.
after that. And he said to me that I am getting in the way because I'm afraid of people seeing the true me.
Wow.
And then I went to work. I got out of PEEP 7 days after that because I just spoke up. I just spoke my mind. I don't care whether you understand me or not. I would speak it slowly. I would send it to you by email. I would make sure that but I will communicate. And me, after going through that, I left that. I went to Walmart. I went to PetSmart. I came to Amazon. When I got to Amazon, I saw a lot of Nigerians like me. I saw a lot of Africans like me that were struggling the things I struggled with maybe 10 years ago, right? And I resonated with it because it wasn't about the smarts. It wasn't about the job. It was about your ability to convince the guy next door that you know what you're talking about and that you can, that you can write the right doc, you can speak the right lingo, you can use the right pronouns, you can use the right adjectives to describe stuff, the right verbs. And it was that combination that made me started putting Nigerians together and Africans together. And look, whichever way I can help you, you have a problem with your manager, come talk to me. Let me see how I can help you. And for me, I am a light that is set on top of a hill that cannot be
You
hidden.
certainly are. You cannot be hidden.
I cannot
Bayo.
be hidden. And I believe that everybody is also a light. And I just came into my own light. And I just make sure that nobody puts me under the table, period. And even if you put me under the table, that's where I start from. I'll try to burn down the table so that I can come to limelight.
Yeah.
And that's who I am.
I have it. That's amazing. I mean, and you got deep right away. I love it. I had a question for further in the conversation, but for people who find themselves in a tough situation like yours, where they're on a PIP, and they sense that it's because of a way that they present themselves. And you are very lucky to have someone who called you and told you the truth, and you were then able to course correct. Like, what is your advice for someone who might be in a moment where they're going through something, they may not even be able to put their finger on it? Like, how do they make sure that they don't get pulled under in that situation?
So I have some bad news. I was never able to shake off the reputation of a slacker till I left Texas Instrument. I remember one time they wanted to promote me to finance manager, and the VP of the organization opposed it that he's a slacker. My manager loved me. I had come out of a paper, changed managers. But he remembered that my name came up in maybe some performance review, and he called me a slacker. And in his mind, and my manager was fighting hard for me, saying that this is the best guy on my team. He would not believe it. I could not shake off that reputation. I had been able to get my job back. I was not going to be fired. My job was secured, but I could not shake off that reputation. I had to find a new kingdom to go take over. And one of the reasons why I left TI was because of that, right? Because, every time somebody remembers that 2 years ago I was a slacker, right? And I just couldn't shake it off. I did everything. I stood on top of the hill. I spoke at conferences. I spoke and made it. But people still remember the bad. Because sometimes people just remember that. So what I did was, number one, I changed companies. Literally. Okay?
Yeah.
Some of you might be able to shake it off within your own organization. You might be able to get it over the hump and get it fixed. When I changed companies, my new manager there identified the same problem I had at TI that I thought I had shaken off. And he sent me to go take a class. He sent me to go take a class called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That class changed my life. Literally. Like I still encourage all my leaders to go listen to the book. We get the ebook. I think I have it somewhere. You're right. We get the I listened to I didn't read the book. I listened to the audio version, but it was amazing. I took the class. I had to go to the class every Monday for I think like 10 weeks. Um, and the class actually just taught me how to be an influential leader with communication. So for anybody going through PIP, for anybody going through this, I can tell you sometimes you need to go pitch your tent elsewhere. But you need to take the time to introspect. You see, oftentimes people blame the manager. They say, my manager doesn't like me, they're being racist against me, blah, 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 blah. I am not saying that some of those things do not exist. They do exist. But you too are not exceptional. Trust me, once you get to that exceptionality, they will respect you, even though they hate you.
Yeah.
And that is where you need to get to. Yeah, they will respect you. They will respect the fact of what you bring to the table. They will respect the fact that you can outwork everyone and that you can outdeliver and you have results to prove it. And
Yeah.
once you get to that place of respect, I don't know what else you want in the workplace. I didn't go there to look for love. I went there to look for work, right? So, and in work, all I ask for is to respect me. Is that when I speak, you listen at least before you disagree with me, and that you present a counter argument. And those are the things. Now, it's okay not to promote me. It's okay. I've gotten over that, right? But you respect my work and know that I am exceptional. So again, if you're going through PIP, I say to you that you need to introspect. I don't look outward, I look inward. And I say that what could I have done better? What could I have done differently? What did I do well? Right? And as I go back and fix those things, I become a better version of myself. Even if I don't become successful in that place, I then go find another place where I can find success.
Yeah. I feel so that I mean that's so profound. I feel validated, and also, when I think about my own career journey, I burnt out, quote and unquote, and I took a bit of a sabbatical. But what I did during that sabbatical was introspect to say, what was the original sin, so to speak. And it traced back to a similar experience where I was basically on a team, and they're like, you're on a performance plan, etc, etc. And I did switch kingdoms, just instinctively. Once I made it past that paper, I said I can't stay in this, and I moved. But couple of years in, I still had that on my back. I still had
Yeah.
that in, yeah, I was still ringing in my head, that you're not enough, you're not enough, you're not enough. And so I burnt out. But it was only after I took time and quieted everything and I introspected, like you said, that I was like, oh, this was the original sin. And I have to work on whatever was true about that and discard what wasn't true about it.
Yeah.
And then come back, and I'm back, Bayo, and I'm doing
I
amazing.
love
I'm
it.
I'm
I
so
love it.
happy, and
And Dami, you said one thing that I don't think we say enough. And as African Americans or as Nigerian Americans or Africans, we don't introspect enough and
mm,
say that, was I 10 over 10?
yeah,
Right? You see, and for those of us that work in corporate America, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that one element that you miss that gets held around your neck. Now
yeah,
don't miss it. Now be 10 over 10. Now be exceptional. Be 10 over 10. Let them write down your boxes and you say, I checked it all. I did it all. And I have proof about it. And your ability to also keep proof, right? I meet with my manager. We talk verbally. I send a recap that thank you for telling me I'm doing a good job. Thank you for telling me that I did an amazing work on this project. Thank you for this. I really appreciate the compliment. The compliment speaks about your leadership and your ability to
yeah.
recognize your staff. I send it to her by
Yes.
email. So that,
Help them help you.
yes.
So that's on the record.
When she now comes back and say that, Bayo, your performance is super, I'll say, guy. And Nigerians and Africans don't do that in corporate America. They just talk. I say talk and
Leave
shoot.
a lot to chance,
No,
and just like hope that
nah.
you kind of get recognized, and that the person
And
on the
there's
other
one
side of the
thing. There's one
conversation
thing.
is
There's one
documenting.
thing. They don't go get a life outside of work.
Listen. Listen. So your everything, your whole
More life is
self-esteem,
at work.
all your whole work. Yeah,
You know
yeah,
me now.
yeah.
You know that 4 o'clock,
Yes.
I'm in HQ1 when I was at Amazon.
Yeah.
Remember that place,
Yeah.
local, that bar that I
Yes.
like to go
Yes.
to?
Local. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Everybody knew that on Fridays at 4 o'clock,
Yeah.
Bayo is going to be at this chair, chilling
Yes.
and having fun and catching
Chilling,
up with
and
folks.
people will come and gather around.
And you
Yeah.
know that on Saturdays, I'm going to throw something on the grill and I'm going to have a
Yeah.
life. Because again, the embodiment of your life is not just work. And
Yes.
sometimes you might not thrive at work, but you can thrive in life. Because again, there's
Yeah.
more to life than just work.
Before we pivot to your Nigeria, there's one more thing I want to touch on. One of those pivotal things that I experienced when I knew you. I always say the only person I successfully referred into the organization was hired by you. And I watched how
The only person,
intentional,
sorry again,
once you,
sorry again.
the only person I successfully referred into the organization was your hire,
Really?
was someone that you hired. Yes.
Who was that?
I don't want to say the name, but it was someone on your
But
team.
she was on
When
my
you
team?
talked to her, yes, she was on your team. You talked to her, you were like, this person is, yes. You're like, this person is smart. Like, this person is brilliant.
Yeah.
And I saw you, once you were convinced, like you went very intentionally to ensure that she got a seat that she deserved at the table. And for me, I was like, oh, this is the level of intentionality that is required
And the person is Nigerian,
to
right?
close the deal. Yes, the person is Nigerian.
Guess what?
Yes.
I will hire a Nigerian on my team in America
Yeah.
with no remorse or most Nigerians don't do that. They'll say, oh my goodness, no. And no. And you remember that we always talk about it because other races, let's not call anybody out, right? You make those race a manager, you turn back and come back 2 years' time, the entire team is that race.
The entire team
The
looks
entire
like
team.
them.
The entire
Yeah.
team. Why can't I do that for my people too? Why can't I give? I'm not saying I will shut the door on other people that have the qualification and have the skills to do the job. But if somebody from my race, I will not discount them because we look alike, we talk alike, but from the same place, they will get the opportunity.
Yeah.
And by the
Yeah.
way, I would also provide them support because they are my
Yeah.
flesh and blood. That is it. And for me, I
Yeah.
am very pro-African. I'm sure
Yeah.
you know that. I remember
Yeah.
some people
Yeah.
had issues with their
Absolutely.
manager, and I actually went and spoke to the manager. Like I went and had a meeting with the manager because he was a senior manager too. I sat down across the table from him. I said, "Guy, what can I do to help this person? Can I mentor them? Can we get them off of PEEP? Blah blah blah." Because that's the power that I have to help my brothers and my sisters. And if it's giving them a job and giving them an opportunity, why not? Why not do it? Why not do it? And until we become intentional to surround ourselves with people that can protect us, but truly not
Yes.
leaders. We're truly not leaders.
I agree.
I'm sure
And
one
I
will.
think, I absolutely agree. Like now I've been in this journey for several years and now I'm in that position. And so this is a reminder. I remember something that you said about protection. There was a time there was a candidate that I was interviewing and we got to I forget the loop discussion. And this person didn't really do well, but the hiring manager said, no, I've worked with him before. And they were from the same country. I've worked with him before. I will personally put my my
Name.
back behind him. Yes.
Yes.
And we're all like, all right, cool, then hired. And then this person came and shot up, was promoted, at a very fast rate. So that's what, that's the level of intentionality that you're talking about and support. I think that's another one that I'm taking away from this conversation is providing support so that people can grow in their careers and they don't just feel like I'm on my own. I'm one of,
my team. My
yeah.
team at Amazon. Let me remember the races. I had one Nigerian, one African American. I had one white, one white. I had one Asian. Again,
Yeah.
it wasn't about I had a couple more, but I know that some American I had some, but
Yeah.
but again, my team was so diverse that it wasn't
Yeah.
about where you're from. But again,
Yeah.
when my Nigerian sister on the team does something bad or something I need to scold, of course I'll scold her, but I'll then bring her back and say, sit down, let me show you how to get it done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me show you how
Yeah.
to do it right. I remember that
Yeah.
the person you're talking about will come to my house on Saturdays and come to my house on Sunday, and we will provide support. And even
Yeah.
I remember that my entire team, they were so pissed when I left because again, I was not just a manager, I was also providing
Yeah.
support to everybody on
You were a
the team.
coach.
And it was
Yeah.
more about building a team, I call it the band of misfits, right? Where all of us together now make a cohesive team that become
Hmm.
indivisible. And
Hmm.
for every single Nigerian or African or minority that hears me on this, I live in Nigeria now, so I can talk to you
Yeah.
about these things. Um, if you cannot hire your own, you're doing this thing wrong. You're doing all this thing
Uh,
wrong. You will be so lonely. You get into that boardroom and you'll be the only one there. And I'm telling you, they'll be talking about steaks and talking about lamb chops, and you are thinking about something spicy, and
about Suya.
Asuya, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, man, I want to have at least one brother in the room that we can say, man, we need, like, and again, you'll be talking about golf when you're thinking about premiership. You'll be talking about,
Yeah.
this when you're thinking about that. And then you now have to go play golf that you don't like, like, because again, you didn't go into the room with people. I say to everyone that cares to listen that if you really want to be a very strong leader, pull somebody along with the journey with you. Pull somebody along, pull them along. You know what? They will remember it. I can't even remember the person that got hired by me.
Yeah, it's been so long, but no, it stuck with me. It
But
really
people
stuck
remember
with
it.
me.
People remember those actions,
Yeah.
and I think that's what
Yeah.
makes it different. Good.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So let's pivot now. So you were clearly on a fast track. You had figured it out. This was the time for you to, keep, moving up the corporate ladder. Can you share the moment when the light bulb went off
You were
and you decided,
you were there.
I'm going to move back? I was there.
You were there. One guy said to me, Bayo, I know your story. I know your antecedent. I know everything about you. My guys, Bankole was there too, right?
Yes.
Now
It was my birthday
it was a
weekend.
brother weekend, yeah, yeah. And that
Yeah.
that people talk about you. I've heard stories about what you're doing on Amazon, but I have something to say to you. And he said to me, Bayo, you have a higher propensity to be successful in Nigeria than in America. Oh my goodness. And I remember going home weeks and months after that, like I could not shake it off. I look back and I said, I can't even remember who he was. I remember he's a consultant. I remember he lives in Philly at the time, but that's all I remember. I don't remember who the guy was. And I look back and he was right. Um,
Uh, uh.
America felt strange to me every single day that I spent there. Don't get
What
me
does
wrong.
strange mean?
I just look, we're successful in America, making six figures, you can buy a house. I remember I go to the
House,
club
yeah.
and I'm thinking to myself that almost somebody wants to go against me. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, right? Like
Bottle for bottle.
but like let's like I remember that I remember that my wife would go to a Gucci store, we buy anything we wanted. Like we have the
Yeah.
money. We could buy things we wanted, we drove the cars that we wanted. We were fine, we're comfortable, we're achieving stuff and I remember I wanted to open a restaurant. We had this thing that we used to do where we cook
Yeah.
and stuff, and we were fine to go to Canada every other weekend. Life was good. My kids were going to good schools. Seattle was great. It was
Yeah.
too much, but that's it. But I wanted more out of life. I wanted more. I wanted a lot more. I wanted a lot more. I felt like I was successful. My success was architectured and was capped. That I had to wait to be under somebody's mercy to get promoted, not because I was not a good performer or a great performer. They would always find something that somebody said to me once that my voice was too abrasive, and that the
Wow.
abrasiveness of my voice would limit me from becoming a VP. That he knows that I'm going to get to a director for sure because you can see my doc was already written to be a director,
Yeah.
but that he doubts if I can ever get to VP. That a good voice comes with executive presence, and it sounds so right, but
It's so
but
yeah.
but I'm sorry,
But so wrong.
but it sounds so right. Like it sounds so right. It makes sense. Then what most people do is they start to condition themselves into that image that somebody else has wants you to look like. And I'm like, fuck that. That's not me. I can't be that. I can't live like that. I cannot live like that. And I made that call. And I said to myself, man, and that guy said that thing to me, and I got a call that it was a company that was struggling, that I shouldn't take over. And I'm like, you know what? F it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. And I said to myself that, what's the worst that can happen? Let's say I fail. I'll take a job back in America. And then I came to Nigeria, right? And then somebody told me one day, right? In passing, he said it in passing. He said, Bayo, if you don't burn the house down, you always think that you have a house to go back to. That it is go big or go bigger. And I was like, and that was the day that I canceled my sabbatical at Amazon.
Yeah.
Because I always had that outlet, right? I never fully committed here, right? I was like, man, if you guys frustrate me, I'll just go back to America. If you guys frustrate me, I'll just go back to America. I even
You had the
job
out.
back. I took a job back at Amazon.
Yeah.
I came back to Amazon Music for a little bit. And then one day I said, no, you have to burn this bridge. Literally, not my passport, but at least.
Yeah. Not the blue passport.
and once I did that, I was fully committed that we go big or we go bigger. There is no home to go back to. We burned the house down when we left. And that just changed my life. And, my ability to take this company, workout.com, plug, and turn it around.
Absolutely.
Was amazing. Was the ability to come in here, take all my Amazon experience, take my retail experience, buckle it down, get people, the right team to help me, to build them up, and do those things and turn this company around was amazing. I'm sitting inside it today, right now, like I actually came to work from the beach. And it's amazing. And it started to just open new doors, right? People just call me. Like this week, I have been called like 20 times. Bayo, are you interested in this? Are you interested in that? Are you interested in this? And I never say no.
Wow.
I say yes to everything.
Yeah.
I say yes.
I noticed. I noticed. You say yes to everything.
Every single thing. Because I say
and you
yes,
figure out how to make it work.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what would you say like you gained from your time in America that kind of turbocharged your Nigerian experience post, your Waka Now plug experience? Because you've really taken that organization from, where it was struggling and kind of not really well known, kind of known, to like significant and like at the forefront of travel. What did you bring, that maybe you didn't have before that corporate America? Or your answer could be really nothing.
No,
but I want to hear your perspective.
No. I brought corporate structure. Your ability to understand what profit and cash means was I'm a finance guy, right? So I'm a finance guy by training.
Yes.
So, and I did a lot of finance. So again, being able to understand what cash and profit, like being able to tell some not very smart people that because you see 500 million in your account does not mean that it's yours, right? There is something called cost of goods sold, and we need to back out of that to be able to know what our profit is. That's one. Number two, my Walmart experience gave me a principle called frugality. Frugality means you don't spend money you don't have, right?
Yeah.
And you don't spend all the money that you currently have. And you have to save up for the rainy day. And the frugality brought to me the ability to do a lot more by managing our costs and making sure that we can achieve more. Amazon taught me customer focus. We call it customer obsession. It's our number one principle at Amazon. Customer obsession. I wrote 7 principles here. I called it customer focus, so that I'm not copying Amazon one for one.
Yeah.
And that means
copyrights.
If the customer is the one paying my salary, literally, they are my boss. And if I understand that the people that manage my customer are my people, the staff that work here, then they become my customers. I got to take care of them. Once I take care of them, they in turn take care of the customer, and everybody wins. Insist on the highest standard. How to chase with speed and do things with speed. Those were things that I got from America. The right work ethic to show up to work and do that. The ability not to be doing deals on top of deals to collect bribe on the back and do that was the principles that we learned at working in 4500 company that had structure, that you had integrity, you had a high level of integrity to say, I'm not going to be cutting a deal that this vendor will be paying me this back end and they will now do a shoddy job. I will not be able to complain. Everybody knows that, if you come and approach me and say you want to pay me a bribe, you will not get the job. You will not. Like, again, and it's just principles that I have to know with you that, hey, Bayo, this is how it works. The camaraderie of friendship and having a tight team and a tight people was all on us. And again, America came with me, but then I had to purge myself of some American shit, right?
Like what?
That everybody's telling the truth. Okay? Americans are very trusting. We trust everybody. Yes. I learned very quickly here that you trust or you verify.
Yeah.
You just go verify.
Yeah.
America tells you that, that there are certain principles in the laws of demand and supply. America tells you that you need to kind of plan for the unforeseeable, but that you need to understand your controllables and your non-controllables. Nigeria has taught me that everything is controllable.
Really? I would have thought you said everything is uncontrollable.
Everything is I said controllable.
Wow.
Some of it you have to let them get out of control so that you can figure out how to control it. Aha. That's Nigeria. My Nigerian sense that is speaking.
That's your Nigerian sense coming back.
Nigerian says that everything is controllable. Everything is manageable. Sometimes you have to let things go out of control for you to really back to understand even the situation. Crisis is a way of life here. Crisis is not a
it's not a special event.
It's not a special event.
It's just a steady hum of crisis always unfolding in the background.
Inside that crisis that one is.
You sound like my pastor right now, like my Nigerian pastor. Really? Never let a crisis go to waste. Yeah.
It is inside that crisis. That's where the money is. Again, and I have to purge myself of that. I have to purge myself, there's no work, people say work-life balance. There's none of that. There's just life. And we do the work inside the life and the life inside the work and everything just flows together. You need to learn that serious business is done in social settings here.
Yeah.
A big business is done in social settings, and you have to understand that you don't have to get to the four walls of an office to do a deal. That's Nigeria. There's another one, the one that I love the most, and that Africa is built on relationships. If you come here thinking that you're the smartest guy from your hood in Seattle or California or San Fran, and you don't have the right relationships, you will suffer. You eventually do well, but you will suffer. Building relationships and keeping up with those relationships and watering those gardens is important here. It is important in America, but you can get by being isolated and doing that work from home.
And just very smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This place, physical interaction is important. Super important if you want to be successful. And there are people that are helpful and one more thing, and this one is new. This one is a new lesson for me. In America, we always have this attitude that we want to do things ourselves, right? That want to be individualistic. That's why we have this thing DIY, right? Nigeria, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is that if somebody has made the mistake before, or if somebody has done it and has been successful before, go and learn from them.
Just go and learn. Yeah.
They will not tell you the whole truth. They're not. But take the time to go learn from other people's experiences so that you don't have to go through the same thing again. I've seen it happen over and over again. For us, at the companies that I run, I always say it. When we come up with a new idea, I say, let us go and research if somebody has done it or attempted it before. If they have done it, attempted it before, whether they succeeded or failed, let us go learn why. And before we go out and launch new stuff, we need to go out and find out if somebody has done it before. I wanted to do a ride-hailing business, like Uber and Bolt, but I wanted to localize it like a black taxi in London, right?
Right.
And I found a guy that was trying to do the exact same thing. After having lunch with the guy, 30 minutes into the lunch, I know that if I don't want to burn my cash, I should just stay away. Now, I could have said, yes, I have a better idea, I have a smarter idea, but I listened to him intently and he told me exactly why it failed. And I know that the reason why it failed is a controllable, but I don't have the financial might to control that right now. So it's not worth doing. Again, talking to people, having relationships with people, you know, like I ran away from the beach. I have like 30 friends at the beach that are just there. A friend came in from Dubai, another one from London. When our guys from Seattle come to Nigeria, they always come see me. When you come to Lagos, you always come connect with me. Again, it's that relationship. So let's say you want to do something in Nigeria or I want to do something in America that you have. I didn't call you up and say, Damn, man, I need XYZ. You are eager because it's not like we only talk when you need something.
Yeah.
Because our relationship has flourished beyond when we need anything, right? And that's how Nigeria works, and that's how the whole of Africa works. It's based on relationships.
Yeah. One thing that keeps coming to my mind that I want to ask you is, at some point in your career, someone said, your one of your signatures, which is your powerful voice, is not executive enough for, the long haul. How do you see yourself now? Like, how, what would you describe as your superpowers now that you are leading from your own home base?
It's hard for me to tell you what my superpower is, but I feel that my superpower is being tenacious. Tenacity is actually my superpower. I'm like a dog with a bone. You know, my voice is still my voice.
Yeah.
I hear my own voice differently than you hear it. I feel I sound great.
You do. I look at my and do.
But when I listen to myself, sometimes I sound really, really husky. Especially when I've not slept well for a while, my voice comes out really, really husky. But I have now learned the power of speaking that you forget my voice and remember my words. I know places where I have to speak slowly. I am now aware that I know places where I have to speak less. I am aware of places that I have to send an email. And my knowledge of that awareness allows me to thrive and not give anybody the audacity or the room to use my voice as an excuse for not wanting to do a deal or not wanting to do business with me or not wanting to do that. I have also turned my voice to a weapon of fear. So for anybody else to compete against me in the local market, they just know. And when I pick up that phone and you hear my voice, you would hear it and you know that, brah, you know what I'm saying? Lion is calling you. So I use it as no. So again, I've turned it to an advantage because again, somebody called as a red for me, and I turned it to a yellow because you just can't fix everything. You honestly just can't fix everything. Like somebody told me once that I'm too fat to be an exec.
Oh my goodness!
Like people say all types of things that come from the abundance of their heart. It is now left to me to say, you know what? I'm going to let my work speak for me before I show up. But when I show up, you already respect me that it does not matter what I wear, how I look, how I sound. You already know that this man can deliver value. And when people call me now and say, please come and join our board, they still call me with my bad voice. When people say, Bayo, come and do this for me, I do this. I have more speaking engagement that I can physically handle. Literally, I can't physically go to all the speaking engagements that I get. Like, literally, somebody wants to fly to Turkey, wants to find me here, wants to do that. I do about 100 speaking engagements a year. 100. Again, I still have my terrible voice. I am group CEO of a multi-million-dollar business about to hit $1 billion, right? I am CEO. I am the owner. I'm the lead investor of another multi-million-dollar business that thrives in Africa. But my voice is still my voice. So for those of you that don't like me, for those of you that hear my voice and hear nonsense, I say, congrats. I can't change who I am. My name is Bayo Lion, and you either love me or hate me, but it will not stop me from shining because I will shine irrespective of your feelings about me. And that is something that I had to come out with. I would grow and not care about other people's opinions of me and say, I will do the right thing. I will get my job done. I will get my work done. I will deliver value. If you give me a pencil, I will turn it into a tree. You give me a tree, I'll turn it into a table. You give me a table, I'll turn it into food. Again, and that whatever you give me, whatever you choose to give me, whatever life gives me, I'll make the best out of it. And if that is what you remember about me, even if I don't earn your love, I would at least earn your respect.
On that fantastic, powerful note, I want to say thank you so much, Bayo, for joining me on the Zero Generation podcast. And not just on the podcast, thank you for, ever since I met you, being such a pillar of wisdom and, strength, and just someone that also joy, some of the things that you're investing in are, beach clubs and the ability for people to relax and turn up. And everybody that knows Bayo knows you have a good time. Whenever Bayo is around, you're going to have a good time and you're going to get taken care of.
100% good time.
Thank you so much for joining. It was such a joy talking to you as always.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.